So we just come from a fundamental belief that we did not discover this place, that God lovingly created it, that God lovingly created all people and all places. And the purpose that God created people and places for hasn't been fully realized on this side of eternity, right? Like we see brokenness in the world, we see poverty, we see hardship, and we look at that and then we say, this doesn't align to what God's design is for the world. That just changes our perspective as we approach people, because we approach them for relationship and we approach places to be restorers. We are truly trying to live amongst and with people, again, that God lovingly created, and coming and saying, your story matters, I see you, I want to know you. It's saying something is broken here. We may not have been responsible for it, but we are responsible for seeing it be made new, because that is what God has called us to. We started this thing with 12 kindergarten kids in one little classroom, and our office space was so small that we could just fit one desk.
Benjamin and I, one day, were just staring out the door of the building here and looking across the street at all the abandoned properties and the rundown buildings that some of our students were even living in. We're like, we've got to do something about this. If we want to see kids stay in the school from kindergarten through 12th grade, they've got to have a place to live. We're like, let's start buying these and renovating them. 5-6 years later, we've got 7 grades, almost 80 kids, and we've got 31 units that are right across from the school where Peace Prep families are living in. I think those are all part of God's heart to restore broken things and bring things back to the way He intended it.
My biggest impression on the school is the fact that they serve the whole family and not just the child. And I say that because Peace Prep gave me the opportunity to get back up on my feet.
It's the least of these of our city, the ones that are marginalized, that are forgotten about, that are pushed aside. We are now seeing them move into places that are restored, that are for them, that are done with their hands, and now they're moving back into it, and they feel as if this is for them, and they are part of the ownership of it.
When I first came over to see what was happening at Peace Prep, I was impressed. I didn't expect to see what I saw. There's black and brown kids in this neighborhood, and I think we're all starting to realize that we need policy, we need education, but you also need spiritual formation. And I think those elements together are exactly what the culture of this neighborhood needs. I'm an outsider to this community. I'm not from Atlanta, but I'm from a community like this one. And I think the words of Dr. King come to mind. Wherever there's injustice or wherever there's neglect, there are no outsiders. Once we all know and learn what's going on, it's on each of us to make it our problem, to make it our issue.
Being a pre-K through 12th grade school is our ultimate vision, and so what we want to see is that we've walked with someone through their formative years and then launched them out into the world as a person who is seen and known, and so they can be postured that way as well. And so now what we think about is, how do we get a physical home that fits the vision of this place? Ideally, we'd love to see a 35,000 square foot building constructed. That's new classrooms, office space, a gym, a commercial kitchen, space for the community to dream together about even more of what's possible. Because again, we haven't even scratched the surface on what our community's dreams and desires are. I think a big part of what God has placed me here to do is to help people to see, to hear, and to imagine the activity of God in our world, and then to say, like, nothing is impossible. That if God's big heart is to see all of this stuff repaired, restored, renewed, if that starts within us and then works outwardly, then let's make that possible together.